Alright, this looks doable. Um, Monsters gain power charge on hit. Unique boss has life and area of effect. Monsters attacks impale. Meteors are nasty. Less area of effect is annoying. Shape or touched is nasty. But I think we'll be okay. One div Slayer. The Slayer Ascendancy that gives you more crit multi for having more targets nearby makes clear so strong. Not bad for single target either. So you get a crit sword. Don't forget you can use Smite to get a lightning buff. Do more damage, keep your blood rage up. Obviously while you're killing stuff, your blood rage will just always be up anyway. Recovery that we get from Leech is very strong for degens. Recovery is not based on your damage done, or should I say it's not limited by your damage done. Recovery from Leech is limited by your total size of your health pool. So we have a very good health pool, which means we have a very strong Leech. Go and find the boss. We can obviously do all of the little stuff around here. We can obviously tank it just fine. Everyone's favorite bosses. Instead of 4 phases, you get 4 bosses. We should be able to just tank most of this without too much difficulty. Keep your buffs up, keep your curses out. You gotta smite once about every 6 seconds, and you have to blood rage and curse once about every 12 seconds. Kill the red totem first. That's the one that makes you take extra damage. You can absolutely die if you just leave this red totem out. Especially since later on there's not going to be a lot of stuff to avoid because the mobs all have extra AoE. You can always kill the purple totem first if you wanted to. It makes killing the red one take less time. I forget what the green one even does. Green one makes us deal less damage, purple one makes us attack slower. And so we're just splashing onto the bosses while we're doing this. So we're still going to damage the boss, but just make sure you do kill the totems. You don't really want the totems up when you go into the final boss on Abomination. Big damage coming in. Chances are we would have died there if the red totem was still up. Hop over here, continue splashing on everything. We got our attack speed back. We're going to be doing a lot more damage again. When we kill this totem, we'll do even more damage. And we're going to start doing more damage again. She's immune when she's up in the air. Probably kill her. That way we don't have to deal with her being immune when we don't have a second boss out to attack. A lot of damage. I have to be careful not to be near the outside of the room there when she's doing that. All those things will automatically explode whenever they get close to a wall. Or we can just dodge them in general. Option 2. We don't have spell suppression on this guy, so you do need to make an effort to dodge. Some of those, like continuous violates of spells, they are dangerous. Now, versus the big boss in here, really the only thing you gotta watch out for is puddles. This big thing does a little bit of damage. This attack on the ground can all be individually blocked. This attack doesn't really do all that much. And so just keep an eye out for puddles on the ground. The puddles on the ground will start putting a debuff on you. Debuff makes you, like that red puddle over there, makes you take more damage. Keep your curses up. Might up. And don't stand in puddles. We got 2 debuffs of the red there, starting off. Or we stood in that puddle for way too long. Be a little bit carefuler. A little bit carefuler. More careful. Remember to keep your curses up. We do use punishment curse, so below half life is a pretty significant damage bonus for us. D is going to start dying much faster now. Careful of those red puddles. Boss, dead. Murder myths. Fairly straightforward. We'll go over passive tree real quick. We are going all the way up here for block mastery, life mastery, reservation mastery. Taking all 6 life masteries that are within range here so that we can have the highest amount of life physically possible with the mastery 10% more maximum life if you have 6 allocated. We are taking shield mastery right here, as well as protection mastery for corrupted blood immunity. We are taking battle transfer rage. We are taking armor mastery for reduced crits, and we are taking block mastery down here for the additional spell block. Going down to Testudo here so that we can cap out our spell block. We are taking charge mastery with Disciple of Unyielding. Disciple of Unyielding is just our greatest defensive one. If you want to do more damage, you can go down the Disciple of Slaughter side. but we're using Blood Rage to generate frenzy charges whenever we are killing things. And we're using Disciple of Unyielding and Inexorable to generate endurance charges. We do go down to Cloth and Chain. This helps us to get our elemental resistances up. If your gear is a little bit better, you do not need to take this Cloth and Chain node. You can find somewhere more useful, like Juggernaut over here for life and armor would be a better choice. And then we're kind of going down through the tree right here to pick up all of the extra life and the extra attack speed accuracy that we can get from the tree right here. For our skills and our items, we are linking Vitality and Precision to Arrogance. We are linking Elemental Weakness, Arcanist Brand, and Punishment. And we're using Tempest Shield as well as Determination and Flesh and Stone. We're using Blood Rage as well as Smite as our cooldowns. We have more duration on our Smite so that we can cast it less often. And we are using Leap Slam with faster attack support right here. If you wanted to go ahead and take a Cull, you could run Culling Strike instead of faster attacks. It would just slow down your movement speed map, but it would improve your boss killing speeds. And then our main attack is on Thunder Fist. We're using Heavy Strike, Trinity support, Elemental Damage with attacks, and Multi-Strike support. For our gear, we have a Rebuke of the Vol, a Crown of the Inward Eye, a Shaper Shield that we alt-rolled to have 5% life when you block, and then bench crafted on increased chance to block. Ideally, you would also have life on here, but we just didn't get that when we alt-rolled it. Our rings, we're just looking for miscellaneous stats and damages and resistances on both of them. These are both cheap rings here. We have a Chaos for our chest piece, Phoenix Tether Belt that just has a little bit of Chaos Res and some Ellie Res on it. We just bought a really cheap belt off the auction house here. And then Windscreen Boots to allow us to have 2 additional curses on the target. That allows us to have both Punishment and our Elemental Weakness up. For flasks, we're running an Amethyst Flask, a Jade Flask, a Granite Flask, a Diamond Flask, and a Sulfur Flask. The suffixes, like you want some armor and evasion. Those are good suffixes. You want some crit is a good suffix. The other 2 I have on here are garbage. Don't go for these. We don't need block and stun recovery. We don't need random additional elemental resistances. These are just what we got whenever we alt-rolled these flasks. And again, this is a budget build, so we're not really focusing too much on those. For our jewels, we just have some generic damage jewels that have increased max life on them. Could have crit multi, could have attack speed, could have dexterity, could have whatever, increased damage with swords. Get some gems that give you a decent benefit to your character. On your POB, a real quick way to find good jewels for your character, to come down here, go to find, we're going to execute this POB search here. Then we're going to go to this search on the Path of Exile trade website. We're going to sort this by 5 Chaos Orbs is the most we want to spend on these things. We're going to go by adding in increased max life because that is necessary. And then you search and then you sort this by sum. So there's a good one, there's a good one, there's a good one, so on and so forth. Down. I just picked 3 1 Chaos Jewels, claimed them in the build. Nothing complex there. Now this POB will be posted. If you have any questions on this, just leave a comment down below or come hit me up on Twitch. We are doing kind of a 1 div T17 capable build guide event, whatever you want to call it, just to showcase the fact that you can do all of the content in the game on a very low budget. It's more important that you have the right gear than you have the most expensive gear. Thank you very much. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.